Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to the February 9th, 2021 Calvert County Board of Commissioners meeting. I'd like to ask Commissioner Hutchins to do the invocation, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please join us in prayer or reflection as we begin this session of the board. We remember one of our own employees today, Mr. Garrick Hendricks of the Calvert County Board of Elections. Previously, he worked for the Calvert County government directly, who passed away this past Friday. From the gospel, God comes to us early in life until the last hour. He repeats, "Why stand idle?" Each hour brings us nearer in the evening of reward, not due to excellence of our work in itself, but mercifully given by God as a recompense. Thank you and amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Any items, corrections? If not, the chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move that we approve and adopt the agenda as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is this week we have Dr. Polsky with us again to give us an update on how the COVID vaccinations are progressing. Morning, Dr. Polsky.
Good morning.
Morning.
So all in all, I think that slide's all set for me. Thank you very much. All right. So I just want to start out really quickly. We continue to see a significant decline in the number of total cases coming out of that horrible stretch through the holidays. We peaked at a little bit over 450 cases a week. This week that just ended, we were down to about 200 cases in the county. We'll see what the Super Bowl brings. I do have concerns that people were getting together maybe in ways that they shouldn't have in terms of passing infection along. So we will watch carefully over these next 2 weeks. The hospital is still having a large number of COVID cases. In the ICU, they are full. 7 of the 10 people admitted into the intensive care unit have COVID. We are not seeing as many cases on the general wards of the hospital at this point. 3 weeks ago, there were close to 30 people admitted on the general wards with COVID diagnosis. Presently, there are 9 people, so at least there's a decrease there. And you can see from age distributions that we've seen decreases across the board. Maybe most importantly, at the lowest end of the spectrum, we've seen less cases among children, with schools getting back this week. Hopefully the weather will cooperate a little bit and they won't have to cancel the last 2 days of the week. But it was very good for lots of reasons to see a significant decrease among the children and younger adolescents. And then turning to vaccinations. So I had mentioned last week that we had gone a little bit incrementally with the Pfizer vaccines. It was the first time we had dealt with those because of the added complexity with the different dosing and storage. So we had held a few, so our numbers were a little bit lower last week as far as percentage given, and kind of made the promise that we would make up for it this past week, which we did. So I know there's a lot of stuff up on that graph. Calvert has the 4th highest rate of vaccination. Now, it may seem confusing to people that you can somehow give out more than 100% of the vaccines that you have gotten. The reason for that is that the Pfizer vaccines, typically you can get out 1 extra dose per vial. So that when you factor that in, if you're able to extract a little bit extra, then it by the way the state is accounting for things, pushes up above 100%. But regardless, you can see that for the vast majority of local health departments, that they have distributed or administered over 95% of the vaccines that we have received. And then taking a look at the percentage of the residents of each county that have been vaccinated, Calvert has the 4th highest percentage The only counties that have more than us have received a disproportionately high number of vaccines per capita. So you may be aware that the distribution by the state to each county has not been equal. And some counties have gotten twice as many vaccines per capita as others. Calvert's been kind of the mid to lower part of that range, so just a little bit under median. So we are doing, I think, a good job in aggregate in the county getting these vaccines out, even though we have not received a higher than average number of vaccines into the county. And that's a combination of effort, not only for the staff at the hospital, the staff at the health department, flashing back a few years, but also the hospital staff that's working with us and the county staff. I know that Jennifer Moreland and Susan Justice at Office on Aging have been tremendous help getting especially seniors registered in. I think that's all my slides, yeah. So happy to answer questions if there are any.
So, Dr. Polsky, are we through phase 1A yet?
Yes. With the extra pause I gave was because it's not as simple as, has everyone who is a first responder, everyone who works in a doctor's office been vaccinated? We know that the majority in each of those categories were, but not everyone decided to get vaccinated. And every week we have a few more people who decide, they're an EMT or they work in a doctor's office, and they finally decide at this point they're comfortable, they want to go ahead and get vaccinated. So every week we have additional 1A people that we are vaccinating. And 1B will be the same way, that when we do get through all the 1B, there will be people that we have to blend back in.
So 1A is 75 and older, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry. So the 75 and older we have not finished. I was thinking all the professionals that are prioritized by the governor. About a week and a half ago, I thought we were going to finish through. Two things happened that we have not finished. One is that we saw another wave of people register over that next week. So we had more than 1,000 additional people come onto the registry that we had not originally accounted for. And the other, as I know you all are aware, our allocations have been cut back significantly. So we were getting 2,000 doses a week, and now this week we're down to 500 doses. So at the rate things are, even if we're devoting every dose that we get to people 75 and over, it's going to take us about a month to finish all of the people 75 and over.
So, Doc, a couple questions. Say somebody has COVID, they get over it. Do they go get the shot?
So the CDC currently is recommending that for everyone who has had COVID, there's documentation they were tested, they still should be vaccinated. The reasoning there is that the antibody response from the vaccine seems to be better than when people just get a natural infection. So the concern by the national experts is that for people who had the infection, their immunity will start to weaken over time and they'll be susceptible to being reinfected. So the recommendation is to boost up with the vaccine. Now, currently, the CDC is recommending for people to get both of their doses. There is a study going on right now to take a look for people who have already been infected. Do they only need one additional dose? We don't know at this point because those studies are still ongoing.
That was kind of leading into my other question is, with the struggle to get everybody covered, do you say, well, I got to make sure if I don't do the second shot, the first one was worthless? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, and we know that there is some protection for the Pfizer Moderna, but it's not complete, and it's when they get that second dose that you boost up. But what they did not study in the initial, as they did the trials for both those vaccines, were people who already had been infected, and to see what they would need. So that's why, again, those studies are ongoing right now. It may turn out we may have new recommendations over the upcoming months to modify things for people who were previously infected, but as of this moment, recommendations are still those people should receive vaccination and they should get both of the doses.
because you're going to struggle getting a second shot out, don't you think?
Well, in which
With
respect?
the way
you
the
mean?
doses are coming out, I mean, at this rate, you're going to struggle. You're going to get to a point where you've given out so many first dosages say you've done 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Isn't there a time period here to get that second one in, or does
So
it expire? or-
It does complicate things with the 2-dose regimen. So as this week we are, so we got 500 first-time doses. So we'll be vaccinating those people, and we have about 2,000 people getting their second doses that we have to vaccinate as well. So it does complicate things when we have two.
and it's the
pools of
same
people.
shot, right?
Correct.
It's the same one you got before. You're just getting the same one again. You're just boosting it up.
Correct.
So yeah, that's what I think you're going to struggle. Because I know you're going to try to get everybody on the list, but as you're going through it now, somebody's going to go, "Hey, well, I'm ready for my second one."
To keep in mind that once the person gets their second dose, then they are now moved completely off.
Sure.
So you have out of every 4-week period, you have people who are coming in for their first dose. They'll come back the next 4 weeks for their second. And that second time, you have people coming in for their first. 4 weeks later, those first people. So you continue.
How do you juggle that?
Well, but the second dose people continue to move off the assembly line, so to speak.
Sure, sure.
And so every week, as things go, you have a certain number of first dose and a certain number of second dose. And it's just the first dose then shifted the following week's second dose, and you blend in new first dose people.
Do you
So you're
prioritize
always
the
taking
second
people
one?
out of things after they get their second dose.
Do you
we
prioritize the second one so that you get them off the system and say this person is completely done, or do you try to get as many first shots you can?
So we've been doing this for a few weeks now with second doses. We work our times. We try actually to have just second dose people coming in certain times and just first dose, but world's not that simple. But we've been able to manage. So we've been doing this for several weeks now, and we've been doing okay. The concern right now is not so much how to balance that first and second dose. It's that we're our first doses are being cut away, and we have less and less ability to vaccinate people in this county. And the way the state is shifting things is that people will need to go out of county to these mass vaccination sites to get their vaccines. Right now, as the state's set up at Six Flags, which is a bit of a haul for people, and of course they're fighting for those doses with everybody who lives in Montgomery County
Sure.
and Prince George's County and everywhere else. The state is looking to have a site in Southern Maryland, but the site they're looking at is in Charles County, where the minor league baseball team plays. If you live in Lusby or Solomons, it's still an hour and a half round trip, assuming there's no traffic or anything. So it's for older people, or people who don't have easy access to transportation. It's going to be extremely difficult. And again, they are battling for spots with everyone in the entire region. There's no way to make sure that people in Calvert County get prioritized for those vaccines.
Doctor, when they get to that point of, if they get to that point of having the stadium there at White Plains in place, County Administrator, we're going to need transportation, public transportation facilities to be able to move people over there that don't have transportation. So that needs to be a factor when they start talking about that.
Well, and
to
it's
be
going to
able
be
to
complicated because you may be talking just 2 or 3 people in an hour. And
We've got to provide public transportation if that's the way they're going to operate. That's a factor
I
we
agree.
have to do.
It's just it's
Yeah.
not going to be as as
It
simple
won't be easy.
as because at the moment there's no systemization to this. So it's not like if let's say that over the day there are 15 people from Calvert who managed to get appointments, they're not all going to be condensed into a narrow time window. They're going to be randomly scattered.
Understood that. Yeah.
So in order to be able to get those people over in some reasonable way is going to be a real challenge.
Well,
and-
that's a challenge we'll have to take on when it gets here, but we need to prep for it. So
I
some way
agree.
of consolidating those numbers, but people that don't have transportation are not going to be left behind for a shot reason.
And we have continued to ask, not when I say we, all of the health officers around the state have continued to ask for projections out for weeks to come so we know what we'll have locally, and still nothing forthcoming. So for this week, I didn't find out until midday on Saturday what we were getting for this week. So planning continues to be really impossible.
Yeah, don't envy that.
The only other thing I want to mention is with the call for inclement weather, this week we've already started getting calls about people wanting to reschedule. We've decided that we're going to cancel our Thursday appointments and shift those people to next Tuesday. So we're already starting the process. We'll coordinate with the county, with communications to get word out, and we will shift over. And then Friday, for the moment, we're going to leave in place. We're going to wait probably until sometime late into tomorrow to see how the forecast continues to shape up. And if need be, then we will open up on the holiday on Monday and do vaccinations there, shift those people. The state is not making this easy on us in lots of respects. One of the problems is the computer system that we are forced to use to schedule people does not shift appointments. So for people who were scheduled for Thursday, we can't just shift their appointment to Tuesday. We have to cancel their appointment. They need to completely re-register for an appointment on Tuesday, which, yeah, and just every step of this process has been
A
much
challenge.
more work.
We got a
and
lot of different
challenge.
hands in the pot, which
Well, just basics. I mean, this is technology, and I go back a few years now. Shifting people in medical systems when they cancel an appointment, which happens all the time in private practice. Somebody can't make it in for one reason or another, or if I had to go for an emergency surgery and I needed to shift patients, all we would do is click a couple buttons and then move them. But this system, even in 2021, can't seem to do that. And so all those people that we had to hand register because they didn't have internet access, we're going to have to go back. And even for those that do, they're going to have to go through the whole registration process again because the system can't shift their appointment times. So there probably will be, I'm just giving you some heads up, there probably will be some problems with this. But we also realize that canceling the last minute, if we do end up getting the snow that they're calling for, it would also be a real mess. So we're trying to do it in a more orderly fashion by anticipating by a couple of days.
So I guess part of the takeaway that I want the citizens to hear is, we get all these complaints, is that we have not completed 1A. So if you're over 75, you have to be patient. We're trying to work through that, but we have not finished phase 1A. The other is that the state's allocating these doses based on population. We get compared to St. Mary's in most of our complaints. And St. Mary's has 113,000 people. We only have 92,000. So St. Mary's is getting twice as many doses as we are. Even though there's only 20,000 more people, they're getting twice as many doses as we are based on the basic allocation. And if you look at the distribution chart, Calvert and St. Mary's are getting all their vaccinations out. So we're not holding back. The system is working. The one compliment that we do get is the people that do go to our site at the industrial park say it's a wonderful system. It works great. They're very happy once they get into that system. So we have every Thursday we have a statewide call on COVID with the governor's office. We've been complaining for weeks about the issues that the state's creating for us. And, we understand there's a limited amount of dosages, but the state has not helped ease this process by opening up all these contractors and mass vaccination centers. It's just created an extra complication for us. Yesterday we had a town hall meeting with U.S. Senator Van Hollen. We all raised the issue with him. Not that it's his problem, but just want to make sure that everybody hears the issues that the counties are facing based on this distribution system. So I just beg all of you to be patient. We're doing the best we can. There's a limited amount of doses, and we're trying to work through the list as quickly as possible. But it's going to take time. If you look at the doses we're getting, 500 a week, there's 30,000 people on the registry. It's going to take time until we get more approved, that we get more supply in the chain. So you just
Right.
have to be patient.
And that, as much as I hate to say it, we've started encouraging everyone to go anywhere and everywhere to get their vaccines. And it compounds the problem that although the state is shifting also to pharmacies, currently there's only one pharmacy in our entire county that's receiving any vaccine, and they're receiving, I think last week they got 250 doses. So again, and that pharmacy up in Dunkirk is right where people from Anne Arundel and Prince George's have more access than most of our residents. And there's no restrictions on who can go to that pharmacy. So most of those doses are likely going to people outside of Calvert.
I know of a couple in Southern Anne Arundel had to go to the Maryland Live Casino to get their shots. So
Right. So and there is no unified registration system. So for people who aren't, we can't get to them with our very, very limited numbers of doses. They're going to need to register at each pharmacy. There's a separate registry for CVS versus Giant versus Walmart versus Rite Aid, Safeway. And then if they want to register at the mass vaccination sites, separate registry as well.
So thank you, Dr. Polsky.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you all.
Thanks, Doc.
Commissioners, Mark Willis, County Administrator. I did want to point out that our Community Resources Director called us and said that they're already working on the transportation piece that
Great.
we don't know what it looks like yet, but they know it's going to be a topic of discussion.
Just got to lean forward and start to look at it.
So the other item I have under public service announcements is this is Black History Month, and we encourage citizens to take part in opportunities to appreciate the rich history, heritage, and outstanding contribution of African Americans, such as Harriet Elizabeth Brown. Harriet Elizabeth Brown was a Calvert County educator who in 1937, represented by then attorney Thurgood Marshall, fought for and won equal pay for black teachers and administrators in Calvert County. Her case set a precedent which impacts throughout Maryland and across this country. So we ask everyone to take some time this month and study the rich history that we have here in Calvert. And that's all I have.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Hutchins?
FBI continues its investigations of the events at the Capitol on January the 6th. They continue to ask for your assistance, especially in finding the assailant involved in the killing of the Capitol Police Officer Brian Setnick. Call 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-225-5324. Thank you.
Thank you. So this week we have a little change in our agenda. We're going to go into executive session at this time. So the chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to General Provisions Article Section 3-305B3 to discuss property acquisition for a public purpose and directly related matters.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to go into executive session. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. At this time, we'll go into executive session. Good morning. So we're back. The chair would entertain a motion to go back into open session.
Mr. President, I move we return to open session.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to return to open session. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unopposed? Thank you. We're back. So next on our agenda is ceremonies. And are you ready, Sheriff?
We are.
Okay. We'll turn it over to you.
Would you like this, sir?
We should have a portable one.
I thought that was his orange juice.
Rachel, do you have a portable one?
He wouldn't let that fall.
Nah.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner. We start off with a swearing-in ceremony, and then we'll do the badge pinning, and I appreciate it. So the clerk of the court, Kathy Smith, is to do the badge, the swearing-in, and then we'll do the pinning. Ms. Kathy Smith.
Raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
Do it again, the right way.
I, Autumn Abercrombie. I, Ashley Ely. I, Savannah Huey.
I, Matthew Kruger.
I, Christopher Murphy. I, Cody Shoemaker.
I, Taylor Strong.
Do promise or declare
Do promise or declare
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Deputy Sheriff for Calvert County
execute the office of Deputy Sheriff for Calvert County,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state,
and laws of this state,
and that I will not
and that I will not,
for lucre or malice,
for lucre or malice,
delay any person
delay any person
applying to me
applying to me
for any business
for any business
belonging to the office
belonging to the office
that I officiate in,
that I officiate in,
and that I will not,
and that I will not,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
ask, take, exact, demand,
ask, take, exact, demand,
receive from, or charge to
receive from, or charge to
any such person
any such person
to my own use,
to my own use,
any fee or reward
any fee or reward
whatsoever for any services
whatsoever for any services
that I may do
that I may do
as deputy of the said office,
as deputy of the said office,
and that in making out the office fees,
and that I may pay out the office fees.
I will not willingly or wittingly
I will not willingly or wittingly
charge other or higher fees
charge other or higher fees
than are allowed by law.
than are allowed by law.
Congratulations.
Deputy Autumn Abercrombie to be pinned by Sheriff Mike Evans. Deputy Ashley Ailey to be pinned by Sheriff Mike Evans. Deputy Savannah Huey to be pinned by Sheriff Mike Evans. Deputy Matthew Kruger to be pinned by Sheriff Mike Evans. Deputy Christopher Murphy to be pinned by Sheriff Mike Evans. Deputy Cody Shoemaker to be pinned by Lieutenant Colonel Dave McDowell. And Deputy Taylor Strong to be pinned by Sheriff Mike Evans. Thank you very much, Commissioners. These new deputies will go to graduate from the academy next Friday at Chopticon High School. And that's been a long academy class. They started in March of 20 due to COVID and postponed several sessions. And I know they're anxious to be graduating. We're anxious to see them back on the street. And thank you for giving us the time. They have to sign their forms here. And thanks again, Commissioner. Let's do that. Sign the forms. Thanks again. Yes, sir.
want to stay up here, or
Congratulations.
It's gonna be easier.
Mark? We're going to stay up here on the platform.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, not make it too hard, back to where you were. You can follow that. That's some Marine talking up there.
Private.
We think, got it?
Yeah, make sure you smile.
Can't quite see it.
All right, just move.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Keep an eye out for Commissioner Hart. He speeds a lot. Yeah, you'll definitely catch him.
Yeah. So just want to take this opportunity to thank all the new deputies. You know, in today's environment, they face a tough challenge ahead of them, and we again want to thank them for stepping up and congratulate them, and want to wish them a safe and happy journey in their career. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
all right.
good deal.
So next item we have on the agenda is a
Memo.
service award from Lorraine Joyner.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ladies and gentlemen, Lorraine Joyner, Executive Administrative Assistant for Community Resources and Chair of the Employee Recognition Committee, or the ERC. Since 1982, the ERC has hosted a February Service Award ceremony to recognize employees who reached significant service milestones during the previous year. To ensure the health and safety of our coworkers, our 24th annual service awards are being presented virtually. We all wish we could celebrate in person, but I'm grateful that, with support from the Department of Communications and Media Relations, we were able to come up with an innovative way to recognize our coworkers. In 2020, 133 county employees reached service milestones. 48 individuals just starting out with county government were recognized for 5 years of service. 17 employees reached the 10-year milestone. 28 of our coworkers celebrated 15 years with Calvert County government. 9 CCG staffers reached the 20-year mark. 11 commemorated a quarter century. 13 observed their 30th year, and 7 dedicated individuals achieved 35-year milestones. All of these individuals are listed in the event program that was emailed prior to this presentation. That email also contains links to video tributes by Commissioner President Hance and our county administrator. Please take a moment to review the list and acknowledge these individuals for their loyalty and dedication. Congratulations again to all the award recipients. Thanks for all you have done and continue to do to ensure that Calvert County is an awesome place to live, work, and visit. And that's all from me.
So I think I have a service award that I'm going to present. So if Julian M. Willis would step forward.
Who's that guy?
Who's that?
It appears he's been with us for 20 years.
He wants me to hold the check.
Sneaky devil.
Is that a new employee?
He wants me to hold the check.
He's celebrating his 12-month anniversary. So,
Is this that intern we brought in?
we have a certificate for your 20 years of service and lunch money.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna make sure that that's.
Where are we going? Where are we going for lunch?
Can we get a photograph, sir? I'm gonna provide lunch in a few minutes.
Oh,
Yeah. His lunch is always come in a box.
That's all right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
you know, so that job that Director Willis has, and you know, and I've said this with Terry before, is got to be the most underappreciated job, or in the top 10 anyway, of Calvert. That job is, no matter what time of night, 7 days a week. This is kind of how the phone call goes, guys. I'll tell you at home. So whatever happens out there, and you call us, we call him. We don't fix it. You know, I call Commissioner Hart. Commissioner Hart doesn't fix it. He gets on the phone, you know, because I don't know how to fix a road, you know, or I don't know how to take a tree down. He gets a call. And then, unfortunately, if he doesn't get there, then Linda gets a call. And it's kind of like I got it written down on something. I'm like, okay, this is all I got from the person. I think there's a big oak tree and maybe a stick and a pothole and over there. All right, now go find it. I mean, it's really like that sometimes. So, yes, that is very appreciated. And without staff, nothing goes. It really doesn't. I mean, it really takes everybody here to make it happen. I know you guys call us, but we don't do it. So,
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you serve the amount of time that County Administrator Willis has served his country as well as this particular county, you lose track of what that takes away from personal family and the dedication that is brought to the element to which he is serving. His actions reflect highly on who he is, on his dedication and his principles of service, and they're inculcated in the organization itself. So they pass on from one generation of the organization to another. We just recognized and saw where some have upwards of over 35 years of service, which is significant for an organization. So, Director or Administrator, I appreciate what you've done in the past, what you're doing now, and how that will indelibly mark Calvert County government for the future.
Appreciate it, Commissioners.
Does that mean you want another 10-year contract?
No.
No. I don't think Commissioner Hans could put up with me for 10 more years.
No.
Commissioners, I will say this. I think one of the most enjoyable things that I've been able to do over the years is I was a member of the Employee Recognition Committee for 13 years. And it's enjoyable giving back to the employees that give back to the citizens. The one thing that I will regret is that this year we are not able to have the ceremony that we've had in the past. And specifically, I get to be the MC, which I truly love that position because it makes Commissioner Hart squirm, that he knows how little I like to talk, but I take that opportunity to talk a lot. But you know, the employees deserve that type of recognition, and maybe one day we can make it up to them. But we can't do our jobs without them, so thank you.
And you're right. Today we didn't get to celebrate with all the employees, and just for the Board of County Commissioners, all the citizens out there, we want to thank, and we really do appreciate the service of our employees. They're what make county government as good as it is. And you know, we have a customer service attitude, and really appreciate every day what the employees out there do for us and for the citizens. So we can't take that for granted. So again, thank you for your service. So the next item I have on the agenda is appointments. Deputy Administrator Vasallo.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm going to cover 3 appointments for you this morning. The first is with the Heritage Committee. You have a recommendation to reappoint Andrew Clark by the committee.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Andrew Philip Clark to a second term on the Heritage Committee.
second.
So I have a motion and a second to reappoint Andrew Philip Clark. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
All right, your second round of appointments come from the Historic District Commission. You have a recommendation to reappoint 2 members, Timothy H. Davis and Scott Montgomery.
Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move we adopt the recommendations to reappoint the 2 members.
Second.
I have a motion and a second that we reappoint Timothy Davis and Scott Montgomery. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
All right, and your third round of appointments come from the Board of Library Trustees. You actually had 9 applicants. That board is recommending 2 appointments, Rachel Jones and Doug Alves, to fill out the final term of 2 resignations.
Who was the second one?
The second one is Doug Alves,
Charles Alves.
Charles Alves.
Oh, Charles, okay.
Yep.
Mr. President, I'll make a recommendation to appoint Rachel Jones and Charles Alves.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to appoint Rachel Jones and Charles Alves.
May I have a point
Discussion?
of discussion? Yes, sir.
Go ahead,
Please.
Commissioner Weems.
Yes, sir. Just want to thank the 9 applicants for their interest. The board is bound by state law to appoint only those recommended by the Library Board of Trustees. And that there are other vacancies on other county boards that these applicants may want to consider. That's
Yeah.
all.
Just to follow up, Commissioner Weems is correct. We're very happy to see so many people interested in the library board, but if you go on the website, there are numerous other opportunities, and in a lot of cases, we struggle to get applicants to fill those boards and commissions. So anybody out there that has a need or desire, please go to the county website and check out the list of vacancies. We greatly entertain your applications. Any other discussion? So I have a motion and a second to appoint Rachel Jones and Charles Alves to the Board of Library Trustees. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. So next item on the agenda is the consent. And we have one item, and that is the extension of the local state of emergency. So the background, the nation continues to face effects from the life-threatening virus COVID-19. A state of emergency and catastrophic health emergency was proclaimed by Governor Lawrence J. Hogan on March 5th, 2020, and continues to remain under this state of emergency. Due to this public health catastrophe, Kelly D. McConkey, President of the Board of County Commissioners, BOCC of Calvert County, Maryland, executed Resolution 02-20, a declaration of a state local emergency on March 17, 2020, as provided in Resolution 02-20. Authority exists for a local state of emergency to continue providing for renewal periods not longer than 30 days with the approval of the BOCC. The BOCC has taken additional actions to extend this local declaration of emergency through February the 10th, 2021. I don't have to read the rest of that. So the chair would entertain a motion to extend the declaration.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I move that we extend the current declaration that was put in place on March the 17th, 2020.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to extend the emergency declaration. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item on the agenda is new business item 1, Commissioner Hart.
I can read this, or do we have Director Vaughn, or?
Director Vaughn, are you with us?
No problem. No problem. Background. The Fire Rescue EMS Division is requesting the approval and signature on the attached memorandum of agreement and network connection terms and conditions for third-party networks from the Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services. Approval of these agreements will allow the Fire Rescue EMS Division to schedule, administer, and maintain the fingerprint criminal history records and check results for Calvert County Fire Rescue EMS volunteers. Discussion. All new volunteer fire, rescue, and EMS applicants submit to a fingerprint criminal history records check. Currently, the Department of Human Resources staff facilitate the process. However, scheduling has been limited due to the volume of volunteer applicants. Funding for live scan equipment was included in the FY 2020 adopted budget, and the fire rescue EMS staff have been trained and approved to administer the fingerprints and receive the classified results. Approval of the attached agreements will afford an increase in scheduling opportunities for the Fire Rescue EMS Division to support our volunteer applicants' completion of the membership requirements in a timely fashion. Fiscal impact. The additional $4,000 annual expense for the systems maintenance agreement is funded in the Fire Rescue EMS Division budget. Conclusion recommendation. Staff recommends the Board of County Commissioners approve Maryland DPSCS Live Scan Memorandum of Agreement and Third-Party Network Access Server Agreement. Mr. President, I make a motion, we go with staff's recommendation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second that we follow staff's recommendation and approve the Maryland DPSCS Live Scan Memorandum of Agreement and the Third-Party Network Access Server Agreement. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. The next item
Sorry,
number...
Commissioners. This is Jackie Vaughn. I couldn't get my off of mute quick enough to read that for you, but we are online for the next one if you'd like.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. The next item is number 2 under new business, Department of Public Safety, Commissioner Weems.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. This comes to us via Alfred B. Jeffrey, Deputy Director, from Jim W. Richardson, Division Chief. Subject, Calvert County Health Department and First Watch Solutions Incorporated. Agreements. Background, the Department of Public Safety is requesting the approval and signature on the attached business associate agreement and assignment agreement with the Calvert County Health Department and First Watch Solutions Incorporated. Discussion. In September 2020, the Calvert County Health Department purchased the First Watch Solutions software and its initial year of support and maintenance using $130,692 in grant funding secured by their behavioral health program. The First Watch program will provide the Department of Public Safety and the Calvert County Health Department a live dashboard of fire and emergency medical services dispatch performance information, as well as a comprehensive statistical reporting system. The business associate agreement and the assignment agreement are required for the transfer of the software license from the Calvert County Health Department to the Board of County Commissioners. The program will be integrated with the Department of Public Safety's computer-aided dispatch information as well as the state's electronic patient care reporting system. Fiscal impact. The additional fiscal impact for FY 2021 is minimal and can be handled through the reallocation of existing fire rescue EMS funds. The annual service and maintenance expense will be approximately $27,000 beginning 1 year after implementation in late FY 2022. Conclusion recommendation. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve and authorize the Board President to sign the Business Associate Agreement and the Assignment Agreement with the Calvert County Health Department and First Watch Solutions Incorporated. Move to approve, Mr. President.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Director Vaughn, anything you'd like to add?
Commissioner, I think that this will be a benefit to the Department of Public Safety as far as better statistical data capturing. Our current system now, it's very cumbersome to pull data out of, and we've seen demonstrations of this software before, and I think it's going to be a big benefit to Calvert County.
All right, I don't see any discussion or questions. So I have a motion and a second on the floor to approve this and authorize the board president to sign the business associate agreement and the assignment agreement with the Calvert County Health Department and First Watch Solutions Incorporated. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Director Vaughn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
So the next item I have on the agenda is public comment. Do we have any public comment today?
Anyone that may have called in, the floor has been open for public comment. If you wish to speak, please press *9 and be patient until your turn to speak. Speakers will be identified by the last 4 digits of their phone number and unmuted one at a time. So if you wish to speak, please press *9 now.
There are no callers.
All right. Thank you very much.
I don't think I heard him. I know, right? From behind the curtain. Who was it? I don't know.
All right. Next item on the agenda is commissioner reports. Commissioner Hutchins?
Thank you, Mr. President. During the last week, I was involved with a conference call with the Chief Staff of the Director of Labor License and Regulation at the state of Maryland, and talking about unemployment assistance and support for the county. They are under a significant caseload of literally hundreds of thousands of people they're dealing with. So they are taking on additional people. To our benefit and to our example, we as of today have successfully obtained resolution in the issues involving cases that have been brought to our attention through both the Economic Development and Community Services Director. So that's a big significant mark to say we've successfully added resolution to those. So we have a lot more to come, and there's a lot more to do. The state's under enormous pressure, but I think we're negotiating that process very well so far. Second thing is, and it's in concert with what we just did by approving the emergency extension to the COVID-19. I propose that we consider and have the county administrator look at planting an offspring of the Y oak, the Maryland state tree, in the front courtyard in remembrance of all those that have died as a result of COVID-19 here in Calvert County, as a perpetual reminder of this significant pandemic, probably in our lifetime, hopefully not in anybody else's lifetime in the future, but as a lasting memorial to them. So that's an undertaking I know will take some development and research to do to find out how to obtain one of those offsprings from the Y oak. But I think it's worth taking a look at.
So, Commissioner Hart?
So when I first ran and got elected, hadn't been on the board too long, but this one young lady come up to me and she says, "It's pretty obvious to me you've never been on any kind of board before, have you?" I said, "It shows that much, huh?" She says, "Yes, it does." And how green I was really showed out then. And when I went to file the first time, I don't know I had ever been down the election board before for anything or any reason. And, you know, I didn't know Gail or any of them down there, and they were all so nice to me. And I was so sorry to hear, I know we mentioned it earlier, that Mr. Garrick Hendricks died. I was so nerved up, and he made me feel so at ease. And they all as a group really helped me. And he was just so nice to me. And the few times, you know, we don't go up there very often. The few times, I was just so sorry that he passed. So I want to pass on to his family that you know, he touched a lot of people, and I know me in particular. I like to tell everybody, when you first win, you don't even know where the bathroom is. I mean, you know, and I was so green. I mean, probably one of the greenest that ever had been up here, and so I want to see that. And also, to our folks out there working with the weather, looks like we're going to really get it this year. It's starting to have that feel. We've been lucky. I hate snow. It costs us money that we could so use on other things.
Yeah, we've saved a lot of money the last couple of years.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, and it's looking like we're going to tap that this year, which is unfortunate. But guys and girls over there, everybody involved, thank you for what you're doing. And folks, when you see them, you know, knowing they're doing everything they can. It might be a trying year this year. So that's it.
Commissioner McCollum?
Yeah, to piggyback on what Mike said, you know, when we would be down at the election board, he would be the guy that walk out and say, "You can't go past this line right here," you know, or "You can't put your sign past that line." But he was always a gentleman. He was always very nice to everybody, and it's going to be, you know, sad to be down there to campaigning without him, because he was like
weird.
Yeah, he was like part of it, you know. So, and also I saw yesterday Sheriff Mike Evans announced that he wouldn't seek another term. He's been our sheriff for 18 years. He's done an excellent job. I remember when I was on the school board and we were going through all the safety issues, he made sure that the police were in the schools and protecting the kids and the teachers and the staff. So I know he's still got another year and a half or two to go, but he's done a great job keeping Calvert County safe.
Agreed. Commissioner Weeds?
I want to extend my condolences to the friends and family of Wayne Grover, who passed last Tuesday. And I wanted to congratulate the various teachers for receiving Teacher of the Year at the schools represented. Especially my sister.
Good job.
Yes, Mrs. Jones. Yes, kindergarten teacher. Next week is Valentine's Day. And I've got a rock that I noticed.
Yes.
Love is.
A rock.
Yes, love is. So, to commemorate Valentine's Day and this rock, I want to I want to read a poem. This is by Lord Byron, George Gordon. She walks in beauty. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes. Thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens over her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and over that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. Thank you.
Steve, I'm just glad now that you have a rock that we have these shields up. You know?
So what he said, because if I start reading poetry, my wife is going to have me under a rock. Yeah, under a rock.
Yeah.
Psychiatric review?
Yeah, for sure. So just want to say I want to congratulate staff. As a lot of you know, last summer we had a significant rain event, washed out a lot of roads. We had a lot of damage. I think about $6 or $7 million worth of damage, and staff applied for some state and federal grants to try to recover some of those costs. And I was doubtful, but due to their persistence, we got notice this week that we got approved for FEMA grants. So I don't know if it's going to cover it all, but it's hopefully going to soften that blow. So I want to thank staff for the efforts in that. Today I met a school bus, which was a bright spot. The schools are trying to get back in. I think God has another plan because it's going to snow every other day. But they are trying to get the schools open back up, and I think that's going to be greatly appreciated by the parents.
School might be canceled, but you could be on there virtually now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Poor kids.
They'll know
That was
the
the
drill,
fun,
that's
fun
for
back in the
sure.
day when you got a day off of school. Now it's
Yeah.
going to be like, nah, just get on the computer.
Right.
You know?
That's exactly right. So, and Commissioner Hart mentioned, if you don't track the weather, you need to, because they are calling for a snow Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday or something like that. So just pay attention to the weather, be prepared, and give the crews a chance to get the roads clear before you're out riding around is the best advice I can give. And we did have some hiccups in our emergency call system over the weekend on Sunday. We know that we have some issues. They're fixing those, so hopefully that won't occur again. But we just want you all to know that it's important that you be a part of that alert system. And the last thing I'll say is we talked earlier at the beginning of the meeting with Dr. Polsky about COVID shots. We're doing the best we can with what we have to work with. I'm just going to have to ask you to be patient. I know it's hard, but we're doing the best we can with the allocation that we're getting. So and pay attention, because I believe Dr. Polsky said they have people scheduled for this Thursday and Friday, and because of weather predictions, that can change. So for those of you that have appointments, just be aware that those appointments could get postponed. So on that note, I'm done, and the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, and you all have a great day.